1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming.
Kind of the same thing. He's saying that they made too many Marvel shows. He's saying that
may have considered it a mistake. The board obviously had its issues with Bob.
But go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
Disney's content library boasts the most prized characters and franchises in the world, including Buzz Lightyear, Mickey Mouse, Marvel, and Star Wars. With 6 of the top 10 highest-grossing films of 2023, it's undeniable that Disney remains a major player in the entertainment industry. However, beneath the surface, Disney is facing financial losses driven by creative dilution, declining attendance at theme parks, and a perception of political activism, which has alienated some audiences. Disney's CEO, Robert Iger, acknowledged the need for change and announced a planned reduction in content spending, particularly for the Marvel and Star Wars franchises, which have seen an influx of television shows in recent years. Acquiring Marvel in 2009 and Lucasfilm in 2012 were major successes for Disney, but their soaring grosses have been offset by high production and marketing costs, contributing to an expected loss of over $900 million in the film business for 2023. The Marvel Cinematic Universe had an incredible run from 2008 to 2022, introducing us to iconic characters like Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, Thor, Hulk, and the hilarious Guardians of the Galaxy. They set the bar high and established a deep connection with fans worldwide. However, following the epic success of Avengers Endgame, Marvel seemed to have lost its way. Critics seem to have appreciated the MCU early, with only 3 of the 12 movies in phases 1 and 2 falling below 75%. Then they all became superfans throughout phase 3, with only 1 movie out of 12, Captain Marvel, falling below 80%, and even that entry came in at 79%. Many argue that the downfall lies in the lack of relatable new characters. The new heroes tried to take up the mantle, but they couldn't match the impact of the originals. The reason for Marvel's decline is superhero fatigue, and the problem lies in the fact that the best characters were introduced first. Characters like Steve Rogers and Tony Stark are irreplaceable, making it difficult for the new heroes to resonate with the audience. Pixar, once renowned for its box office hits, has faced significant challenges in recent years, with movies failing to meet expectations. Before the 2020, Pixar experienced both successes and minor setbacks. However, recent films such as Onward, Soul, Luca, Turning Red, and Elemental have struggled to match the studio's previous triumphs. Part of Pixar's early success can be attributed to John Lasseter's creative leadership. Unfortunately, his exit in 2018 due to misconduct allegations affected the studio's creative direction and may have contributed to its recent struggles. The COVID-19 pandemic arrived at a particularly unfortunate time for Pixar. Theaters closed, and quarantines were implemented, hindering the box office performance of Onward and impacting subsequent films like Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. The Star Wars franchise has been one of the most beloved and iconic film series in history. However, since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012, the franchise has experienced a significant decline in quality and popularity. One of the most significant factors of decline is Disney's approach to storytelling. Under Disney's management, the Star Wars franchise has become increasingly focused on nostalgia and fan service, often at the expense of originality and creativity. Many of the new Star Wars films have relied heavily on familiar characters and plot points, rather than taking risks with new stories and characters. Another factor that has contributed to the decline of the franchise is Disney's mishandling of the expanded universe. Prior to Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, there was a vast and complex network of books, comics, and other media that made up the Star Wars expanded universe. While not all of these stories were canon, they were nonetheless beloved by fans and provided a rich and diverse universe for the franchise. However, under Disney's management, much of the expanded universe was discarded and replaced with new stories and characters that were often poorly received by fans. The Star Wars franchise has also suffered from a lack of consistent direction and leadership. Under George Lucas's stewardship, the franchise had a clear vision and a sense of purpose. However, Under Disney's management, the franchise has been overseen by a variety of different directors and creative teams, each with their own vision for the franchise. Walt Disney World's ambitious venture, the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, promised an immersive and unparalleled experience for fans, but its costly nature and limited occupancy have resulted in significant financial setbacks for Disney. The company recently revealed a staggering hit of $250 million in accelerated depreciation during its quarterly earnings call. The closure of the Galactic Starcruiser in September signals the end of a costly experiment, leaving questions about its feasibility and the future use of the facility. The biggest reason behind Disney decline is losses. In a recent announcement, Disney revealed that their streaming operation reported a loss of $512 million in the most recent quarter. This brings their total streaming losses since the introduction of Disney Plus in 2019 to a staggering $11 billion. The primary cause of this loss was the decline of approximately 11.7 million subscribers worldwide, mainly from a low-priced version of Disney Plus in India. To combat these losses and ensure profitability, Robert A. Iger, Disney's chief executive, has initiated a significant overhaul of their streaming strategy. Rather than solely focusing on rapid subscriber growth, which often requires costly marketing campaigns, Disney is now emphasizing making more revenue from its existing subscriber base. As part of their new approach, Disney has been adjusting its pricing strategy. The monthly cost for an ad-free version of Disney Plus increased from $8 to $11 in December, and another hefty price hike is on the horizon. Starting October 12th, the ad-free version will cost $14. Hulu, another streaming service controlled by Disney, is also raising its prices from $15 to $18 for ad-free access. Additionally, a new streaming package offering ad-free access to both Disney Plus and Hulu will be available for $20 a month. While Disney's streaming efforts are underway, their traditional television business, including channels like ESPN and ABC, is facing challenges due to cord-cutting, rising sports programming costs, and advertiser pullback. In the most recent quarter, Disney's traditional channels reported a 23% decline in operating income, marking the second consecutive quarter of significant decline. Disney is even considering a sale of a stake in ESPN, aiming to establish strategic partnerships to aid with distribution or content. ESPN recently struck a 10-year deal with a casino company to venture into online sports betting, a move that allows them to tap into the lucrative world of online gambling without becoming a sportsbook itself. Apart from streaming and television challenges, Disney is contending with ongoing strikes by unionized screenwriters and actors, who are demanding higher pay from streaming services and stricter guidelines on the use of artificial intelligence by studios.